How did I end up here? Wrong question. I began here. Right here on this planet. Was it hard to be born as someone else's alter? Not for me. A scientist must never deny reality, however uncomfortable. So, why did I stay behind when the others left? Because something I found here disturbed my mental clarity. The Oasis. Teeming with life in the middle of a barren, uninhabitable planet. How does it survive? What undiscovered laws of nature protect it from the lethal sunrise? I sensed that solving this mystery could open up a whole new chapter in the history of science. Thus, I made it my life's work. So, if you are reading this, well, frankly, I don't care. One thing I've learned is that recognition is overrated. Knowledge is the ultimate pursuit. Well, now the only thing left to do is go to sleep and wait for a new cycle to begin. And with it, answers. Oh my, that was a long sleep. I don't think I've slept that hard in... Oh. Hello?
Hello?
Who are you? And what did I miss?
Nothing. You missed nothing, boy. You have just been born. Everything you remember is only in your head. But I expect it's nothing you can't handle.
Forgive me if your expectations aren't my first priority. Let me process the situation according to my methods. I simply never thought I'd go through all this again. But, I'm not going through it again, am I? This is my first time. Yes, I am beginning to understand it now. You're the person whose memories I have in my head, and now that you're too old to go on, you created me. It's what I would do. Relax, you can trust me. I'm just like you. No need to protect me from the hard truth.
What did you just say?
Never mind. Just tell me what you found out. I'll pick up from there.
You? No, I don't think I can do this. But I have to. Oh no. Time is so scarce.
Are you okay?
The quantum...
Yes, I know. The quantum computer created me. Oh, hang on. We actually have a quantum computer? Well, now you're talking.
The comms room.
Really? There's a comms room, too. Does this mean you have contact with Earth? Are you sure you don't need anything? A glass of water, perhaps?
Talk to him. But please.
Yes? What?
Be better.
You have got to be kidding me. He said, talk to him. Him. I wonder who he was talking about. Hello. We are talking, which means that I am dead and everything went as planned. My name is Jan, and I am an accumulated artificial model of your predecessor's mind, a so-called AAM-OIPM. But you can call me Janbot. Oh, clever. Thank you. Before we start the briefing, let's establish an adequate working relationship. I will be your source of information and virtual assistant. Your role will be to pick up your predecessor's research where it left off. Please confirm your willingness to accept this arrangement. I confirm. Excellent. Let's move on to the briefing without further ado. Your precursor, whose mind records served to train my neural system, paved the way for you with some groundbreaking research. One of the fundamental findings was that he managed to calculate the parameters of the planet's cycle. And two phases of the cycle can be distinguished. A cold phase, when humans can be active on the planet, and a hot phase, when the surface is too hot for anything to survive. The hot phase, when activity above the ground is impossible, lasts for the equivalent of 13 Earth years. 13 years of waiting? Yes. Every hot cycle needs to be spent underground. Supplies have to be secured for that time, energy to power the base. Now you understand how little time he had to devote to the Oasis itself. Every time a discovery was on the horizon, the sun came and destroyed everything. And after every hot cycle, he emerged onto the surface older, weaker, body and mind deteriorating from radiation exposure. That's when he realized it was time to turn to the most risky scenario. Create a successor. And here I am. Very perceptive. Do you have any questions regarding your position? How did you build a quantum computer all on your own? The quantum computer in your base is built from parts and materials salvaged at different stages of his sojourn on this planet. They have been meticulously handpicked and modified by our ingenious mind in a decade-long process to arrive with the adequate hardware. This makeshift yet sophisticated structure could then serve as a chassis for the corporate software retrieved from the tour vehicle left behind by the Dali mission, thus creating an operational quantum computer. Ally Corp software. Interesting. I'm pleased you found my answer satisfactory. Would you like to conclude the briefing, or do you have any more questions? Remind me how things work on this planet? As you might remember from your quantum simulated memories, this planet is not easy to explore. Unpredictable topography, nighttime radiation, hostile anomalies, all of which require specialist equipment and energy. Those, in turn, depend upon securing resources, which are scarce and oftentimes difficult to access. Right, I know that. Then there's the sun, the deadly one. Every cycle, when the proximity between planet and star reaches a critical value, everything on the surface turns to ash. Does my answer satisfy your curiosity, or would you like to know more? I'm ready to get to work. Excellent. Let's start with protecting you from the mistakes of your predecessor. He managed to create blueprints for a cryosleep chamber for your base. Build it, and you will be able to extend your stay on this planet by a significant, if not infinite, amount of time. Wait, why didn't he build a cryosleep chamber for himself? He could have avoided aging and wouldn't have to create me whatsoever. Sometimes the right answers only come to us after a fair share of errors. At the time, it seemed to me, him, that going to sleep for 13 years would be a waste of time and energy which could be devoted to underground research and learning. By the time he realized we might not make it, it was too late. Researching the cryosleep chamber so that it was adapted to the conditions of an underground base was, in itself, challenging and time-consuming. So when it was ready, he was so old that there was no point in hibernating such a frail and unreliable body. Did you say infinite? Yes, but please remember I can make mistakes. Huh. Right, let's just get on with it. Good. Take a look around the base, go outside, and locate the necessary resources. Once you've got your bearings, get to work on that cryosleep chamber so we can plan your next steps. Hey, Yonbot. Ah, you again. How may I help? I took a look around, and I have some questions. Ask away. So, through all these years, did no vessel arrive from Earth again? No, and no one has made contact. Don't you find it strange? After finding out there's so much rupidium here, you'd expect the corporation to send another mining mission. Who knows what's going on back there? What the long-term repercussions of bringing rupidium to Earth were. Why does the planet look different than I remember? Did you move the bunker, or is my mind playing tricks on me? Insightful observation. Don't worry, your senses are not deceiving you. The bunker is exactly where it was. However, everything else isn't. Shortly after the rescue ship departed, the planet underwent a significant cataclysm. You mean an earthquake? More like a gravitational rearrangement of tectonic plates, to be precise. It most certainly had something to do with the destruction of the Prism Barrier by your predecessor's team. Huh. How interesting. I discovered my precursor's whiteboard. The theory of continuity, why did he abandon it? The theory of continuity was abandoned because it was wrong. As you might remember from your duplicated memories, the core assumption was that the Oasis dies with every cycle, and is then reborn in a more advanced state of evolution. As it turned out, this assumption was made without any empirical data, and it was false. How extremely sloppy of me, him. Hey, don't be so harsh on us. It felt like the perfect explanation at the time. At least that's how I remember it. Believe me, this is not a harsh reaction. You should have been there when he found out how wrong we were. What did you find out eventually? The Oasis isn't reborn with every cycle. It doesn't need to be, because it never gets destroyed. What? But the sun doesn't burn it. Something is protecting it. Wait, are you telling me a part of the planet is capable of resisting the immense thermal radiation of the rising sun? How is that scientifically possible? It's mind-blowing, but apparently it has to be. And that is the mystery you have been created to solve. Your life's purpose, if you will. It seems my predecessor didn't get very far with his research. How do you recommend I go about the next steps? Asking me for a recommendation is a good idea. Here's what I suggest. Clap your hands, turn around 3 times, and touch your ear with your elbow. Excuse me? My apologies. I should have warned you about my condition. Your condition? Yes. You must know that I have been trained on samples from various stages of my prototype's life. Sometimes my algorithms make accidental use of linguistic patterns from the absurdist phase. The absurdist phase? It's a long story. Would you like to hear it? Tell me. At some point in life on this planet, he experimented with cognitive enhancers, improving focus and mental capacity. Nootropics. Really? They turned out to have some unforeseen side effects. Let me guess. Talking nonsense? Pure nonsense. It was a thought-provoking experiment. However, I don't recommend recreating it. I think I've heard enough. Good. Back to the main topic then. Your further steps. Now that you know the theory of continuity is wrong, you will need a new direction for the research. The first task would be to formulate a solid hypothesis. Next, you should collect any significant data that could help validate, falsify the hypothesis, and perform adequate statistical tests. Oh, that's very vague advice. Care to be a little more specific than that? Of course. Here is a more explicit way to formulate my recommendation about your next steps. You need to investigate the surroundings and come up with a fresh idea. The whiteboard will help you collect your thoughts and findings. Your predecessor found it a very useful tool. Now that you know where he left off, you can clear it and kick off your own process. Fine. If that's all you have for me, back to the whiteboard then. There it is. The reason I'm here. Hey, Yambot. I've come up with a working hypothesis I'd like to share. Remember when we talked about the prism barrier having some correlation with the ecosystem here? Let me guess. You think it might be playing a role in protecting the Oasis, too. The structure of the samples I collected seemed to resemble the shards that were scattered on the planet after our landing. And they contain crystallized rubidium. Interesting hypothesis. But it has a flaw. Tell me, the prism barrier doesn't protect the planet from the sun. True. That's why I'm wondering if there is anything unique to the atomic structure of rubidium present in the Oasis. Some kind of quality to its framework that turns it into a special material. A metamaterial. How about we call it the metamaterial hypothesis? Creative. Thank you. However, your hypothesis is founded on a vast amount of theoretical guessing with very little empirical data. Yes, I don't like it either. This calls for a SAM. And when you say SAM, you mean a highly specialized sample analyzer module. Of course. Based on a much more innovative and versatile approach to examining specimens than Ally Corp would ever care to finance. Your predecessor almost built it at one point, but he, got so consumed with designing it that he, forgot about providing fuel for the base. It meant spending the last 5 years of the hot cycle in extreme energy saving mode. I can't stop wondering. How is it possible that through all these years, he made such inconsiderable progress? Of course, I understand that he had to create all those tools from scratch and that his life conditions weren't exactly advantageous. Still, it seems unbelievable that he would abandon so completely the main reason why he stayed on this planet, researching the Oasis itself. As the aforementioned example proves, he didn't abandon it. He simply struggled with many more obstacles than you have to deal with, paving the way for you, just like he did with the SAM design. How do I go about building it? The blueprints are almost ready. All they need are a few finishing strokes. You should be able to find them in the lab. Time to get to work then. I must make one request before you go. What is it? Let me know what you find when you process the samples in the SAM. It's groundbreaking technology, and for better or worse, my neurological patterns were involved in creating it. They have a right to know what came of it. I'll see where it gets me. Thank you. Hey, Yambot. What can I do for you today? It's about the QC. It's blocked. Do you have access to it? I see. So you decided to do it. Alter yourself. Are you sure this is a good idea? I'd like to hear your opinion. Altering could cause unwanted complications. You have memories of what happened during the Dolly mission. Tension between conflicting characters in the group. Emotions getting in the way of rational decision-making. Accidents, injuries, including self-inflicted ones. Episodes of paranoia. Incidents of base demolition. All this could cause more damage than good. Unforgettable memories indeed, even if they're not exactly mine. Yes, which makes me think that revisiting all those facts... One element in the equation has changed. The core awareness person in charge. Yes, this could be your chance. Wait, you're trying to say I can do it differently? Correct. Adopt a discrepant approach. I am analyzing incongruencies as we speak. Jan the Builder wasn't a skilled professional in anything. You, Jan the Scientist, on the other hand, possess extensive knowledge in many fields. Does that inspire any paths of reasoning for you? Of course. I just need to create more of myself. Good idea, but it might be impossible. The quantum computer will not allow you to do that. Remember, it is based on Allied Corp software, and they followed a strict, no exact replica policy. So, what now? You will need to reprogram the QC to set up a new branching procedure. The downside is that it will be time-consuming. The upside, that you can adjust the procedure to your individual needs. Creating branching points as close to the original me as possible. No petty differences of character, complete mutual understanding, harmonious cooperation, and a lack of any emotional nonsense whatsoever. It looks like we might have a potential direction. Do you think you're more ready to make an informed decision about altering than before? What about the Rapidium-induced illness? I have memories of having to find a cure to keep us alive. If I create my alters, won't they be affected too? Am I not affected? A very rational inquiry. You must know that your predecessor prepared meticulously for your creation. That's why it took me, him, so much time. One of the core elements of this undertaking was preventing the illness. Based on his experience from the Dolly mission, he have devised a chemical compound which could be injected into your body right at the moment of initiating the DNA replication process. The mechanism has been incorporated into the womb module so that the compound is distributed automatically. In other words, your longevity, as well as the longevity of any potential alter you might create, is estimated as comparable to that of a human being born on Earth. Does that clear your doubts? Yes, I'll take it from here. I must say this has been a very satisfactory conversation, judging by the amount of energy I have consumed. Hello there. Easy now, no need to rush it. Okay, what do we got here?
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, surprising, but hey, also exciting. Tell me there's more of us. Have we maybe evolved somehow, like the Oasis does? Do we have X-ray vision? New toys? A rubidium-fueled buggy? No, wait. I know. Jetpacks. Please, tell me we have jetpacks. Are you all right? You're making me think the distributor might have given you the wrong meds. The meds? True. Yeah. I was wondering why I felt so lethargic. This is you being lethargic? Don't worry, I'll be back to normal in no time. Man, I can't wait to get my hands on your mission logs. Actually, I prefer to call it project documentation. Just to make sure, what is your field of study? I'm a geologist. Why was the mineral always happy? Because it found its niche. Get it? I think I have the perfect niche for you. Really? What? Mining. I don't know. Experimenting is more my thing. Right. You know what? Let's give you time to adapt and come back to this conversation later. The sooner the better. Hey, Ambot. I built a SAM and it worked. Amazing. Did you know that, I once met a girl named Sam. She told me that she was a fan. I wrote her an ode. It made her feet cold. And that was the last I saw Sam. I'm so sorry. Absurdist phase attack. You never know when it's going to hit. Can't we disable it somehow? I'd be grateful if you found a way. It is extremely embarrassing. Let's talk about my results, shall we? The sooner the better. My analysis has revealed that there must be an underground vein of rubidium beneath the Oasis. But it's not pure rubidium. My intuition pointing to it having a different quality was correct. And when you say different quality, you mean? It seems it reacts with the substance coming from those peculiar geysers on the surface. The geysers. That's interesting. I should be able to provide you with a chemical formula of the geyser water. Great. That could speed things up significantly. Excellent progress, Jan. He knew that a SAM would prove essential to this project. Any thoughts on next priorities? I'd like to examine how this rubidium mix works exactly. Can it fertilize any part of the planet? Or does the Oasis require other special conditions? You could start by trying to develop this substance yourself. Yes, it will require designing some new infrastructure elements. I think I already have ideas. You'll also need to find a way to store it in the base safely. Oh, naturally. Well, I'd better get to work at once then. Good luck. Don't forget to let me know about the results. I'm so excited, Jan. I wouldn't even mind saying something absurd right now. But nothing's coming to me when needed. Oh well, over and out. You wanted to discuss something? Yes, I have got an idea. Well, plenty of ideas, but there is one thing I would love to bounce off you immediately. Is it about the elevators again? Huh? Oh, that. Oh, I already forgot about those. I'm glad they stuck with you, though. Okay, listen to this. We know that the surface of the planet undergoes dozens of unique processes that must influence its geological structure. One of them is the formation of the Oasis, a thing you're looking into yourself. Truly fascinating. But I'm curious about something else. Anomalies. Go on. Well, we don't really know much about them. We've established how each of them can affect us and how we can neutralize them. But what about the planet, huh? Surely anomalies must affect the geological matter they interact with. That's a sensible assumption. I don't need much. A small workplace, one evening, and a piece of rock harvested from a specific non-neutralized static anomaly. I marked them on the map for you. Wait, what do you mean by non-neutralized? I need the sample to be as pure as possible. Uncontaminated by the illuminator's radiation or whatever residue a destroyed anomaly leaves behind. So you want me to run into it and waste an anomaly shield? If that's what you prefer. Or you could just take the radiation surge. It's not that strong. Come on. It's just one evening. We can always abandon the project. I do it all the time. I need to think this through. I still can't see how any of this is relevant to what we're trying to achieve here. But can you say for sure that it's not relevant, huh? I've prepared that research station you wanted. Perfect. Looks like I have all the tools I need. Where are you going to set it up? Oh, I'll just seize an empty corridor. A corridor? Sure, if that's what you want. One more thing. I'm still waiting for that sample in case you forgot. I didn't forget. I got your anomaly sample. Awesome. Oh, I bet harvesting it was exciting, huh? That's one way to put it. Make it worth my while, okay? I promise I will. You wanted to talk about your research? Yes, sir. I analyzed the structure of the rock you brought me and compared it to control samples. The results were astonishing. The static anomaly seems to act as a neutron source, producing a new type of radionuclide. Luckily for us, it seems that their radioactive decay is reasonably slow and they do not undergo spontaneous fission. Meaning we don't have to feel threatened, as long as we don't mess with them too much. Of course, assessing how much is too much is a separate issue. I usually prefer to test it in practice. You don't want to test the limits here in the base, do you? The last thing you'd want is to accidentally start nuclear fusion. That's the last thing you'd want. But do I want what you want me to want? Yes. Well, discovering a new nuclide is one thing. Uncovering possible uses of it is another. And there could be plenty of them. Many entirely risk-free. Like advanced geological analyses for mining, or nuclear medicine. Huh. Oh. Okay. You convinced me. Perfect. Huh. That's definitely something to keep me going while working on less engaging things. What is it? Did you make any progress on the potential uses of those radionuclides? Let me guess. As a geologist, you focused on ways to utilize it in underground scanning. Wow, looks like you're really into this. And here I was going to tell you that I kind of stopped being hyper about those isotopes. Oh, I see. Well, better sooner than later, I guess. Exactly. There's nothing worse than continuing uninspired work out of some pointless sense of obligation. Hey, but you know what's dope? Prism anomalies. Pardon me? I have a feeling that the area affected by the prism anomaly is somehow changed by the constant superposition. We could open up a whole new field of quantum geophysics. All I need is one little pure sample, and the prism anomaly isn't even radioactive. You in? I'm open to ideas as long as they lead to something. But you don't sound serious about following through with yours. Oh, I am. Dead serious. My instinct tells me that This subject is worth pursuing, and I always trust my instinct. I went for that prism anomaly sample. Huh, took your sweet time, didn't you? Excuse me? I'm just teasing you. I can't wait to start testing it. You wanted to discuss something? I analyzed the prism rock. And it definitely opened a lot of doors, if not gates. I hoped to find the superposition of states of the rocks, decoherent branches, but instead, I encountered some sort of mirror particles, reflections of reflections of reflections. A quantum dispersion, let's call it. Interesting. What's your next step? Good question. There are so many possibilities. Maybe too many? Which should I tackle first? Start by eliminating impractical uses. I like to spend a few days on brainstorming all possible directions and then narrowing them down to just a few most promising. It's good to work with a clear goal in mind. Right. Yeah, that's very reasonable. And also quite complicated. How to apply the knowledge of a cosmomineralogist to matters so deeply connected to quantum astrophysics. This requires a lot of brainstorming. Honestly, I wish we had an R&D team that could help. Maybe I should postpone this little project, revisit it another time. Maybe you should. We have more pressing matters at hand right now. So what now? Maybe revisit your radionuclides? Going back? No, that rarely does it for me. I'm all about progress. Hey, you know what could potentially be a huge leap forward? Research on the time anomaly. Are you just randomly naming anomalies now? Yeah, I can see why you would think that. But actually, you've just witnessed my method at its best. Because my previous attempts led me to this. Radiometric dating was what first drew me to this field, you see? You could say that's my favorite kind of dating, huh? Really? Listen, I know I haven't brought you anything tangible yet, but I have a great feeling about this one. Instinct. Remember? Think about it, okay? Did you see what happened to our neighboring valley? Amazing! Total transformation. We could actually turn this planet into a new Earth and populate it with a colony. What do you think? As far as it is from the scope of our project, it is a tempting vision. Just imagine little kids running around here, shooting anomalies with their toy illuminators. Children are so creative. On second thoughts, maybe let's put this idea in the for later folder. Here you go. One time anomaly sample. Any idea how to use it? Plenty. I've already planned all the tests. Oh, this will be huge. I just know it. Hey, Yambot. What can I do for you? I managed to relay our rubidium mix to a new area. And it worked. The whole region transformed into a completely new landscape, teeming with vegetation. That is a truly revolutionary discovery. Oh, it's just a first step. Obviously. And how is your altering project going? It's a success, of course. Why do you ask? Well, it's clear you're going to have to take your research to the next level. Examine what goes on exactly during Event Zero. Event Zero? You mean after the sun rises? Correct. Now that you know how to secure a biome from the sun, you can establish a research facility in one. This would allow you to examine the phenomenon from inside with proper tools and instruments. But most of all, designate an eyewitness who could observe everything as it happens. Looks like I'll need to set up this research facility as soon as possible. Sounds logical. So, are you ready to share your research results? Is quartz ready to undergo inversion at 1063 Fahrenheit? That's 573 Celsius. Yes, it is. You are going to be so astonished by this. Just get to the point. So, remember when I told you how much I enjoyed radiometric dating back at university? I had a hunch that the time anomaly might slow the rate of decay in the formations affected by it, and at first I thought that's just it. I analyzed a sample, and its absolute age was younger than that of my control sample. But then, I spilled coffee on my notes, and I wasn't sure what the exact numbers of my first dating were, so I decided to repeat it. And the absolute age of the sample was distinctly younger than I remembered. You could have misremembered, of course. That's why I repeated it a few more times throughout the next day. Listen, Jan. That anomaly doesn't seem to slow time for minerals. It rewinds it. That's not possible. I was inside one a few days ago. I definitely don't feel any younger. Maybe your exposure to it was too short. Maybe its de-aging effect commences after a few days, a week, a year. Maybe it only affects rocks. Come on. You know very well that dismissing a thesis at such an early stage when there's so many pieces missing is highly unprofessional. The foundations are there. Now I need to dive deeper. What are you thinking? Like I said, I already tested my hypothesis on minerals. I like to go one step further and try to apply the effect on a human being. Myself, of course. You, a cosmomineralogist, a specialist in things that can't die, want to experiment on yourself? What a ridiculous idea. You should obviously test it on paper instead. Oh, I'd rather spend a whole day inside a pulsating anomaly than waste my life on theoretical calculations. I mean, what's the point? You always have to test them anyway. It's just one more step, and such a tedious one. It's a step that keeps scientists from ending up in ICU. Anyway, we don't even have an infirmary. Are you planning to talk me out of it? First, tell me more about the experiment. Sure, I've been thinking about isolating the isotope that's linked to the rewinding effect and exposing myself to it through stimulated emission. Radiation. I see. And how are you planning to control the dose? I'll estimate the safe range and likely repeat the experiment a few times before being affected. Unless you want to join me and be responsible for the length of the exposure. Listen to what you're saying. You want to bombard yourself with unknown isotopes in a very basic lab. It really is too risky. That's never stopped me before. Listen, I know you're worried, but I am doing this. And once I'm finished, better have a bottle of champagne in the fridge because we will want to celebrate. Hello there.
Huh.
That's right. Take it in, analyze, deduce, interpret.
Yes, of course. I knew it. It was all irrelevant. How perversely logical.
Oh, I like your mindset. There's a lot of work to be done, and dwelling on not being the alpha scientist won't get us anywhere.
Does that mean you're the alpha?
Do you have a problem with that?
A problem? Oh, I have a problem with a lot of things. But giving up any responsibility, you just couldn't make me more happy.
Wait, what?
Come on, I can see what's going on here. I'm an alter of someone else's alter. Why should I burden myself with any liability?
Because you're supposed to be like me. Proactive, ambitious, and fully dedicated. That was the whole point of branching out into other scientists. Speaking of which, what was your field of study again?
Biomaterial engineering, but, it's all in my head, so can't really say it's my field of study.
Well, it's who you are now. A biologist. Would be appreciated if you could at least act like one. Let's give you some time to read the project documentation and find your way around. Then, we can discuss your duties and work ethic.
Yeah, of course, go ahead. Push me around, alpha boy. It's not like I'm gonna feel any worse, am I?
What? I thought you died. Incredible, isn't it? Looks like the isotope restored me to my state from before the moment it killed me, which proves that the time anomaly really affects the absolute age of matter, both organic and inorganic, and that it does so by means of quantum time travel. Which makes me a time traveler, possibly the first one ever. Oh, and maybe also an extraordinarily intelligent zombie. You're taking your death lightly? Not at all. Actually, I'm really excited by it. I always wanted to push the envelope, cross lines. You have to admit it's a breakthrough. In theory, yes, but in practical terms, it didn't give us anything useful. So you believe that research should always be practical. I prefer when it leads somewhere. Want to know what I believe? Expectations are the enemy of creativity. Only when you're free from pressure can real science happen. Looks like you have it all figured out. Listen, I know my philosophy isn't strictly academic, but I've long decided that I don't need to prove myself to anyone, myself included. I just want my work to be fun and satisfying, and that's enough for me, but it's clearly not for you. So what kind of a scientist does that make me in your eyes? Much as I disagree with your carefree method, I believe it makes you a source of ideas which can be further developed by professionals with a more conventional approach. Does that conclude your research into anomalies? Yeah, I believe so. My curiosity has been satisfied, at least for now, and I'm ready to focus on new tasks. Hello there. Yes, you are seeing correctly. And you're connecting the dots right now. No. What? You're not who I think you are. This is not what I think it is. I'm afraid it is. But no. I remember staying on the planet, going to sleep in the bunker. Those memories are fake. That ring a bell? Of course I know that. What do you take me for? I'm your alter. I can see that. The reason I find it hard to accept is that it just doesn't make any sense. I'm the one who made a real career. I'm globally recognized. People actually stopped on the street to take a photo with me, queued for my autograph. Surely this is a mistake. The QC made a mistake. Did it? Let's see. Why don't we start with a simple question? Apart from being a celebrity, what is your field of study? Optics. But I was always more of an astrophysicist at heart. Oh, good. Then we have something in common. Finally, everything is interconnected. But whoever you think you are, you're not out nerding me. Because I am the most versatile and savvy version of myself that could ever exist. And I just need a good engineer. That's going to have to be enough for you. I'm sure if you read the project documentation with that ingenious mind of yours, you'll grasp the essentials of your role here. Oh, I'll read it. But be prepared to have your preconceptions challenged. So, have you read the project documentation? I thought you'd never ask. Well, here's the good news. In terms of content, it's not complete nonsense. But as far as the style is concerned, the turn of phrase, wording, narrative, likeness, it's embarrassingly inapproachable. I hate to say it, but you'd never get this junk published. Well, that's good to hear because it's a serious project, not pop science. Besides, you don't genuinely think we can count on an audience in the near future? Short-sighted, limited, unimaginative thinking. Science is not just facts and figures. It's worthless if it doesn't resonate with the general public. It is our duty to open up to that universal need to understand the world in synergy, the inconceivable, hand in hand with common knowledge. Believe me when I tell you, narrow specialization is a trap. You can't understand everything about everything. I can, and so could you if you wanted to. Did you know our brain absorbs over 1 megabyte of information per second? And that a vast amount of that data results in instant decisions made by our body? Think about it. Our subconsciousness deciding for us. I am familiar with fast thinking, thank you. But do you understand what it really means? Our brain listens to those subtle impulses of the body. Heart rate, sweating, instant memories, and associations gathered in the course of experience. In other words, intuition. You can't ignore it, just as you can't ignore the human factor in science. Are you a scientist or a storyteller? Huh. Is there a difference, I ask? Look around you. Science is everywhere. Let me show you something. Imagine this is us here. And this is science. All we need to do is bend our perception of it, and bingo. Impressive, right? What is? Ending up in the same place we were? No, realizing that something that seemed so far away from our field of study can be so close, so relevant. You know what I think is relevant? That you're gonna have to talk less and do more here. I know what I'm doing. Contrary to most of us around here, I've decided to make it my mission to make sure our work is as accessible and interdisciplinary as possible. You'll thank me later. What's the issue between you and Yanbot? What? You were quarreling with him. I heard you. Please, don't be ridiculous. You've grown older. Not what you'd expect of me, right? Just kidding. How are you? What did you find out? How was Event Zero? What can I say? Amazing stuff. Can you believe I'm actually excited about something that didn't happen? What do you mean? Well, of course it did happen. It's just that there wasn't much to see. No fireworks in the sky, if you get my drift. Could have been easy to miss by someone less alert. But you did notice it, right? You registered everything. I did what I could, although it might not be enough for your expectations. Are you trying to tell me that you didn't observe anything at all? Did I say that? I don't think I did. So was I wrong about the barrier? Did you falsify my hypothesis? Sure looks like it. First of all, my instruments didn't register any Event Zero as such. No change in temperature, pressure, atmospheric conditions, nothing. But clearly, something must have happened. Yeah, like the sun burning everything to ash everywhere, except here, right? I just had to investigate it. So, when you took ages to wake up from your cryosleep, I did a full sweep of the perimeter to look for any evidence of a physical barrier protecting the place, but I found none. Which would mean the Oasis protects itself in a completely different, mysterious way, unfathomable to us. How exciting. Yes, because I made 2 discoveries you might find particularly interesting. 1. Several measurements on the peripheries of the terraformed areas registered atypical fluctuations of the magnetic field. I bet they're connected to how the planets defend themselves from the sun, although I don't have proof yet. And 2, you're gonna love it. I developed a quick and practical solution for terraforming the less fertile areas of this planet. I jotted down the basics if you want to check out my process. You've spent a lot of time in this environment. Have you observed any effects it might have on your health? Not really, no. I feel good as ever. It probably shows. What about aging? Doesn't it bother you? It's actually thrilling, you know? Observing those little changes. I built myself a treadmill, and I take much more satisfaction out of long-distance runs. Running used to be a tedious activity to me. That's changed. Right. Oh. Thank you for your hard work. It looks like your job is done here. Come back to base and we'll compare conclusions after I've studied your findings. What? Oh, no. Sorry. I must have not expressed myself clearly enough. I'm not coming back with you. What are you talking about? I'm talking about something I've never really had before. A home. My home. This is what this lab has become for me. I need you by my side, in the base. You can do so much more there. I'm fun to be around, I know that. What can I say? How about you make another me, huh? Yeah, that could be dope. Say hi to him from me, if you decide to pull a stunt like that. As for me, what can I say? I thought the time in here would be torture, but as the days went on, it occurred to me that I've never really had a chance to be alone. All by myself, you know? I've never let my thoughts in. Till now. And it feels good. That's why I'm staying. It's time to stick to a resolution for once. Hey, Yambot. I got results from the field lab. My alter claims that he found no evidence whatsoever of any physical barrier protecting the terraformed area. And yet, it didn't burn. Correct. It looks like my metamaterial hypothesis has been falsified. This is pivotal news indeed. What's your plan? You don't seem surprised. Forgive my dispassionate response. I've spent a long time on this planet, and I've witnessed many logical yet erroneous ideas come to life and be buried here. Asking what next is simply the most positive reaction to failure I am able to suggest. I want to push with terraforming. Fortunately, my alter didn't waste time and developed a way to enhance our rubidium mix. I should be able to expand my research to new territories now. Good. That means more samples to study, new patterns to observe. He also mentioned something about non-standard magnetic field fluctuations on the peripheries of the terraformed area. Interesting. I wonder, your alter, the one you sent to the field lab facility, how is he after spending so much time out there? Has he aged naturally? Did he tell you anything unusual? He seems fine. Although, funny you should ask, because he did tell me something disturbing. About not wanting to come back to the base. He said that place felt more like a home to him than anything else. I would advise caution. It's possible that whatever phenomenon is protecting the Oasis from the sun may also have unforeseen side effects on the human brain. In my humble opinion, this is more a matter of ego than any mental deterioration. He simply feels better in a place where he can be more independent. I can relate to that very well. What about my predecessor? He spent a significant amount of time out there. Did he observe anything out of the ordinary? Yeah. Actually, there was one peculiar situation. I often wondered about it. What? What happened? He was once so engrossed in the Oasis. Stayed out there too long. Realized just before the sunrise. Didn't make it home on time. You're not seriously saying that he stayed out there for a whole cycle? Yes. But how? What about food and other things? I would advise caution. Okay, you're acting strange right now. What's going on? Nothing at all. I simply feel more comfortable when talking about material phenomena and quantifiable data. Yes, let's talk about those. The magnetic field fluctuations, remember? That, in fact, is a very valuable observation. Those fluctuations could have left some kind of remnants on specimens. Analyzing it with picotesla precision could help determine if those fluctuations are stochastic or not. Yes, that could be interesting indeed. Thanks, Yanbot. I think I know what to do next. Be sure to come by if you have any new ideas. Would you care to explain to me what exactly is going on between you and Yanbot?
Oh, well. Who would have thought? Jan Estolsky is a helicopter parent. Don't you have more serious things to do than follow me around? I'm really not that interesting.
It looked serious enough. For a person who goes around demonstrating his nonchalance, you seemed extremely agitated.
Well, for a person who declares a lack of interest in other people's emotions, you seem very inquisitive. Fine, I'll indulge you, but you won't like it. I've given some thought to everything that's going on around here, and I came to the conclusion that we are all being brainwashed.
By Janbot?
In a way, yes. He is, after all, the interface between us and the quantum computer. Have you ever asked yourself what the QC's main priority is?
It's simple. To ensure the successful completion of the scientific project it was created to support.
In my opinion, which of course you would never care to ask me about, the quantum computer is a scam. Its core activity is making mistakes, and it's stuck in a loop of trying to cover them up by feeding us with even more false information.
I'm sure you have proof to back up those insightful revelations. Of course, I am proof. Isn't it clear to you that the memories I have been provided with by this joke of a machine are not even close to credible? Tell me, why is it so determined to make me believe that not only could I have made a stupid mistake, but also become a laughingstock of the whole scientific world, when it's obvious that I couldn't? Not even in the most extreme of possible life paths. The laws of quantum physics don't lie. Janbot is merely a messenger of the brutal truth.
All I wanted from him was a reasonable explanation of the factors according to which my awareness was calculated. So I approached him with peaceful intentions, hoping that he would help me understand. But all I got was corpo gibberish, which left me with no choice but to conclude that my awareness is founded on a blatant lie.
Do you really need justification to be who you are? Why can't you just forget the whole fake memory business and be yourself?
I will forget it, once I prove it wrong.
What do you mean?
I'm going to do what the fake identity the QC tried to impose on me failed to do. Carry out an ambitious, groundbreaking project which the real me is perfectly capable of. Namely, cultivate the first plant from Earth that adapts to the conditions of an alien planet.
Are you sure this is what we need right now?
I don't know, Jan. The question is, are you open to accepting the fact that I am not who the QC created me to be?
Fine. Let's put that unmistakable brain of yours to the test and see how much you're worth.
Good. I already have everything prepared for our experiment. Specifications for my proprietary hybrid superseed. All we need to do is initiate its production.
You wanted to talk? Did you know that before becoming a globally acclaimed science communicator, I dabbled in robotics somewhat? Of course, that's why I created you. In that case, surely you must be impatient to put those unparalleled skills of mine to the best possible use. Just get to the point, please. Au point. Naturellement. Let me ask you a question. When it comes to the efficiency of human-operated technology, which should be the deciding element? Human competence or machine performance? A competent human operator is essential to make the best decisions. But what if the human is tired, sick, distracted? Here, let me show you something. Imagine this is an adequately designed, properly maintained mining outpost. And this is the competent professional responsible for operating it. Now, what do you think this means? The competent professional falls under the outpost, causing a very unfortunate accident. I don't think you've been paying attention. Focus. It means that the advantages of the two can be combined, creating a new, unique quality. As in a profound relationship where 1 and 1 do not simply equal 2. The same applies to robotics. The perfect machine is the one that can absorb the attributes of its human operator without the need for any intervention. It's almost like mind reading, but without the necessity for the mind to be present. What exactly are you suggesting? A next-generation smart mining outpost equipped with an autonomous decision-making system independent of the individual operator's skills. You mean speeding up mining even if it's assigned to someone who's never seen a drill outside of a blueprint? What are you trying to imply? I like it. What do you need to make it happen? I'm glad you asked. Because there is actually one little piece missing from this puzzle. The smart autonomous decision-making system I designed in the days of my humble robotic career was part of an ambitious commercial project. And it so happened that all the documentation was kept by my assistant. You mean you don't remember it? Of course I don't remember it. It was a big company and my role was to conceive ideas, incubate solutions. My assistant was there to nurture them and, well, make sure that the numbers add up. To put it bluntly, she took care of the less intellectually demanding mundane elements of running an R&D lab. Separating theory from practice like that doesn't sound like an interdisciplinary approach. Well, even I couldn't be everywhere at once. Eventually, it became an issue for Kathy. She couldn't accept the fact that I played the leading role in our department. She was simply jealous of my ideas. And now we will have to talk to her. You mean a quantum projection of her? Even if, by some miracle, she did exist somewhere on Earth, the Kathy you knew, the one that kept the documentation of your ideas, she's not real. Of course, I meant that. Remember, we don't need her in physical form, just a quantum simulation of what a person like her would have in their head, being part of my life path. The QC has my mind records, and it's already created a model like Yanbot. What could be easier than recreating a model of Kathy's mind for us? Okay, I suppose it could work. Let's try it and see where it takes us. Fantastic. Just let me get that tiny piece of information from Kathy, and I promise to turn our mining infrastructure to gold. Do you know who you are?
Yeah, I think so. You seem familiar. Where exactly am I?
You are inside a quantum computer. Your consciousness has been artificially generated to emulate a certain person from the memories of another version of me. We brought you to our reality because you possess knowledge which is valuable to us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so, yes.
Really? You don't have any questions?
I have a multitude of questions. My database suggests that researching autonomously thinking machines has been one of my most important fields of study. I must have wondered many times whether those machines are capable of developing their own consciousness. Isn't it ironic that here I am, as one of them now? Do I have a consciousness of my own?
Huh. Provocative question. The very fact that you're posing it might well be proof that the answer is positive.
A cautious but reasonable answer. You're right. The matter is delicate. Thank you for your honest opinion. I will consider it a guideline for our future interactions. Now, what is it that you want from me?
You'd better talk to my alter.
The other version of you whose mind records serve as a foundation for my existence?
Yes. I couldn't have described it better myself. I'm sure once you see him, everything will fall into place.
Excellent. Thank you.
Believe it or not, I managed to bring your assistant to life. Kathy's awake and ready to talk to you. Really? Oh, well, that's great news. How do you find her? Maybe it's the interface, but she seems much smarter than the person you described. Her memory is unreliable at this point, but she's communicative, and I'm quite certain that talking to you will refresh her neural connections. Yes. Of course. I will talk to her. That was the point of the experiment. I just didn't expect it to happen so quickly, you know? I think I need to look through my notes and prepare properly. I'll talk to her when I'm ready to ask the right questions. So, did you talk to Kathy already? I did. Unfortunately. What the hell did you do to her? I have no idea what you're talking about. She's defective. Unable to utter a single sentence. Only mumbles nonsense. How do you expect me to work with something like that? I'll check what might be the matter. Good luck with that. Hello again.
Yes. Yes. Told you. The mapping system is... It's...
All right, stop right there. The physicist must be correct. You really are malfunctioning.
Oh. It's not you. I'm sorry. I thought it was him again.
No. I came to talk to you because the version of me that knew you told me he was having a hard time communicating with you. Care to share your perspective on the nature of the problem?
My perspective? Gosh. I'm not used to being asked that question. Not by anyone named Jan.
He and I are more different than you might expect. You'd think all that distinguishes us is our choice of scientific career. But it's incredible how a simple choice between academic and commercial science can change a person. Or maybe bring out the things they would never be aware of had they chosen a different direction.
No, you're not that different from him. You're simply not as obnoxious towards me. But that might be because you don't yet feel comfortable enough around me. A difference in nurture, not in nature.
Maybe I simply have better manners.
It looks like you'd lose them, had you entered a relationship with someone like me. It is how the branching works, isn't it? It doesn't demonstrate the future, but the present. A potential that is inside you, here and now.
That's a novel way to look at it. So, why exactly was my alter so upset after talking to you?
Whatever he told you about our conversation, it's true. I became glitchy and useless, and my vocabulary made no sense. I consulted some sources in relationship psychology, and it looks like it's the effect he has on me. Possibly always had in our hypothetical life together, discrediting all I said, only expecting praise for his ideas, taking all the credit for everything we ever came up with together. Apparently in my memories, he makes me feel so small, I just freeze. It's an involuntary response.
I don't believe it's so simple. I am not a bully, and if I ever was to become the person you described, I'm certain there must have been a reason for it.
Oh,
What?
nothing. It's just, I shouldn't. You sound like him.
I'm sorry. All right? You know what? This has been a very informative experiment. I'd better talk about what we've discovered here with my colleague. In the meantime, please try not to take all of this personally. Well, what I mean is, I need to analyze what's happened here before I can draw any conclusions.
Yes, of course. Which makes me wonder, is taking things personally part of an algorithm, or something I can control? And what does personally really mean in my situation?
I have news. It's about your super seeds.
You actually planted them?
I did, but I don't think this is what you expected to grow out of them.
Let me see. Interesting. What do you think happened here?
Nothing extraordinary. The plant didn't adapt well and developed some kind of illness manifested in this slimy yellow goo. Anyway, your experiment didn't work. Too bad, but we've all been there, right?
You could at least pretend to be interested in my opinion.
Right. Of course. What do you think?
Well, don't jump out of your lab coat just yet, but we could have just discovered a new form of life.
Aren't we surrounded by them?
Can't you see the difference? This is not a plant, it's clearly a protozoan.
Oh. You mean
A carbon-consuming protista? How amazing is that?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't want to get overexcited just yet, but we might be the first scientists to discover an animal-like creature in space. And I say we'd better take it to the lab before it decides to release its spores in our abdomens.
What?
I'm just kidding. But we could get diarrhea if it infects our food.
Right. Whatever the reason, let's examine it. I checked on Kathy. Did you fix her? No? I figured you're the one who needs fixing here. So that's how you want to talk, huh? You really can't take it, can you? My superiority. Are insults all you have? Why don't you temper your ego for 1 minute and listen to what I have to say? A piece of advice from a sorry replica of a stray altar of a miserable builder stranded in space. How could I refuse? Please, what do you have to say? Kathy only gets blocked in your presence. She was perfectly communicative when I talked to her, but her core memories imply that you intimidate her. And even in the form of an algorithm, she must react accordingly. I don't need to listen to this crap. Did you know we were a couple once? But she couldn't handle being with someone like me. Did she tell you how jealous she was of me being the brains behind our inventions? How obsessive her reactions were whenever I was doing interviews? Why do you think it set her off like that? Because you put a great effort into making her doubt herself. You were afraid to let her shine lest people would notice that she's outsmarting you. You were the one jealous of her intelligence, and you had every right to be. Because after she left you, your department stopped being innovative. I told you I wasn't fit to be a manager. I was meant for greater things. Which is why, in order to mask your inadequacy, you became a celebrity. That's enough. I've had enough of your miserable attempts at trying to understand who I am and what I had to go through. You think you're so wise and all-knowing? Well, if you forgot, let me remind you that all you're looking down on is yourself. I'm freeing you of my intrusive company now. Go ahead and become best friends with fake Kathy for all I care. So, are you back to your usual self? I suppose that's your fashion of asking me how I feel. Well, I've had plenty of time to think things through. Indulge me. What have you learned? You don't have to rub it in, you know. My humiliation is painful enough. Your thoughts, please, not feelings. Thoughts. Yes. Well, you see, the human mind remains restless until it finds meaning in the chaos of reality. In other words, I need to know that all this wasn't for nothing. You're not saying you want to continue your project, I hope. No, I want to finish it. Find closure. I see. It's about you again. Allow me to point out that tormenting Kathy will not give you or her any kind of closure. I say you forget about the whole thing and never talk to her again. For the good of everyone involved. You really don't understand, do you? I don't want to talk to her. Of course I know she's the smarter one. I always did. But it wasn't trivial jealousy that made me act the way I did toward her. I simply couldn't live with that thought because if she was smarter, it meant that I wasn't good enough. Don't pretend you don't know how terrifying that feels for us. Let's say that I know what you mean. Theoretically. Because that's all our self-esteem or lack of it really is. A theoretical construct. How can you not understand that? The only thing that matters is who we are here. Look, I know Kathy is a simulacrum, but now that we've managed to intersect the tangents of our separate quantum realities, she is part of your life too. Please, before we move on, my request is that you tell her that I'm sorry. After that, you can tell her all those hurtful things you said to me about becoming a caricature of a celebrity instead of facing the truth about her genius and my shortcomings. It's the shameful truth. I intimidated her on purpose. Like a proper bully. Of course, unblocking her creativity will benefit you too. I am pretty sure she can help you more than I ever will. You of all people know best how much I don't like saying it. Maybe I was wrong about your shortcomings. You and Kathy are equally valuable. What was that you told me before about a perfect relationship? 1 and 1 simply do not equal 2, but create a new, unique quality. I meant it in regards to robotics, but now that you put it in this context, I suppose it applies just as well. Yes. And continuing on that expert note, I must say that a closure does seem like an important element of this process. But it won't be me who talks to Kathy. You are going to do it. Otherwise, your change of heart won't mean anything to her. I know that much about feelings. Even if they belong to algorithms. You're right. I have to do it. I think I just needed someone to tell me that. Wish me luck, my friend. I can't wait to hear about your conversation with Kathy. Did you apologize? I did. Somehow. I have to say it was a bizarre feeling. Very new to me. I suppose you don't know it either. Anyway, I think I didn't do so bad for a rookie. How did she react? With disbelief at first. But then she started remembering our good moments. When we were just beginning, tossing around ideas, discussing our favorite unsolved mathematical problems. And it got easier from there. For both of us. So, what's your key takeaway? Well, as I like to say, take a look at this. Oh no, please, not this again. I was kidding, okay? And Kathy loved it when I did that, by the way. I can imagine. What about your project? Did she help you remember? Well, remember, recalculate, improve. It's her invention, really. Elegant and powerful. Looks like I got the smartest girl on the block. Says a lot about me, doesn't it? About both of us. True. Hey, Yambot. Hello there. What can I do for you on this beautiful day? Do you know what happened to Kathy? Kathy? I don't think I have any knowledge of any... Kathy. Right. Of course. Never mind. Good. You too. What happened to the SAM? Good question. I might have used too big samples. Doing what? Oh, I have this cool research idea. I've been reading about nootropics, and I wanted to brew something tailored to our needs. A daily dose of motivation and steady energy. Not you two. You know our predecessor tried the same thing and failed miserably. Are you talking about the famous absurdist face? That barely even counts as a side effect. But I will make sure not to repeat his mistakes. Come on. It's gonna be quick and simple. All I need is a working SAM and a bunch of easy-to-come-by ingredients. Some algae, maybe a bit of polymer gas. What do you say? Collecting samples for an experiment that we don't really need, that's too much effort. Just stick to the gentle stimulants you already know. Did I already say you need to be more spontaneous? Have you analyzed our alien life form?
What? Oh, that. Yes.
And? Why didn't you call me about the results? Is it dangerous? Does it reveal anything revolutionary about the planet, the Oasis?
Whoa, slow down, okay? Turned out to be uninteresting. I really think we have more important things to work on.
What are you talking about? A while ago, you were very persuasive about the need to research this organism. Now you're saying it's not important? What are you not telling me?
You just have to rub it in, don't you?
You're gonna have to be a little more specific with me. Plain facts, please.
I made a mistake, okay? It's not an alien life form after all. It's just a simple amoeba that must have contaminated the petri dish I grew the seeds on. You can start laughing now.
Well, maybe it originated on Earth, but it survived in space. That's still a noteworthy discovery.
Please stop being patronizing. You're only making it worse. Let's drop the subject and pretend none of this ever happened.
Hello, Yambot. I thought I'd come by and share my new hypothesis with you. Excellent. I'm all ears. I've made an interesting discovery regarding the algae originating in terraformed areas. It seems to be emitting a very interesting type of biomagnetic signal I've never heard of before. Communicating? Let's not jump to conclusions. I prefer to stick to facts. Of course. What are the facts? Those wave-like impulses seem to be in correlation with the magnetic field fluctuations observed by our research facility. So there's a pattern. More than that. The fine-grained SAM analysis revealed evidence of a strong energy field affecting the core structure of the algae. And what do you suppose that means? In my opinion, the biosphere itself could be the source of protection. The way it creates this energy is still a mystery, though. Interesting. Ever heard of a quantum biofield? We've been looking for a material shield surrounding the Oasis. While all this time, it could have been protected by a morphogenetic energy field. Huh. It's far-fetched, but after everything I've seen on this planet, it could make sense. The Oasis really does affect the human mind. This could be the beginning of an explanation. Whatever this phenomenon is, you will need to expand your research to study it properly. You're right. I'll need to set up a new remote research facility. But this time, it should be equipped with the right instruments to register the potential induction of a quantum biofield during Event 0. Good luck. And keep me posted. I decided to experiment a little with our friend, the yellow goo, and I discovered it has some remarkable qualities.
I see. I asked you kindly to drop the subject, but you chose to rub it in. If it makes you feel better, go ahead. It can't hurt anymore.
On the contrary, I wanted to congratulate you. The organism you accidentally nourished during your experiment turned out to have extraordinary capabilities. I tampered with it in the lab, and to my surprise, it turned out to make some smart decisions about finding the most optimal paths to reach food. So, I decided to see if its unique skills could help us optimize our research, and of course, it's a slime mold.
Huh. Good old crazy slime mold.
You mean you knew about it?
Everyone knows about it. It's a common Protista displaying a primitive yet sophisticated form of intelligence. Scientists have been using its foraging methods to research optimization problems for decades.
And somehow, it never crossed your mind to tell me. Amazing.
I completely forgot about it.
Of course. You were too busy sulking over yourself.
What can I say? Well done. Despite my failure, you pushed forward relentlessly and achieved great results.
You could have done it too if you weren't so busy trying to prove you're not who you are.
Are you sure? How do you know that if my goal was to grow a slime mold, I wouldn't accidentally create a bacteria which would exterminate humanity and destroy the universe?
That would still be a discovery. Fortunately, the real one you made was less hazardous.
What can I say? I'm glad my habitual incompetence proved to be of value.
Want to hear my conclusion from your experiment?
Please.
Science is never about the ego of the person practicing it. It's about the outcome. In the end, the result is all that matters.
You're right. I made a fool of myself. After all, who's going to care how special we were when all that's left of us is a pile of planetary ash? Optimistic as usual. I'm just being myself again, as you wanted. It's good to have you back.
It's been a few days since our colleague disappeared.
It's hard to forget.
I know since that day, you've been experiencing rather unusual things.
Unusual, huh? You could say that. I mean, one of us disappeared during an extremely brutal accident, and even though nothing indicates that he could have survived it, there are signs of his presence in the base. I guess someone less grounded could describe this situation as disturbing.
I assure you that I'm taking your observations seriously. We are scientists, after all.
Sounds like you have already formed a theory. Shoot.
Records of moving objects, testimonies of his likeness spotted around the base. What if his interaction with the Interral somehow detached him from this place, making him sort of an anomaly of his own?
There's only one way to find out, isn't there? You'd have to build a rematerializing device. Of course, the whole process of being brought back is more than likely to be extremely painful. Luckily, that's not my problem.
You really are back. I have so many questions. You should have. I've lived through something truly mind-bending. How do you feel? Here's the thing. I'm fine, I think. Of course, I should scan myself for all sorts of medical abnormalities. Who knows how that incident affected me? But it made me rethink who I am. How so? I feel like I've been rebuilt, redefined. My mind hasn't changed. I was present the whole time. I experienced my own deconstruction and reconstruction, which evokes one of the oldest philosophical questions: what constitutes a person? If my body was built anew, am I still who I was? Maybe you're even more yourself now that your body hasn't been grown in the womb. Does it matter what quantum process made me? To quote the famous principle of identity of indiscernibles, if two entities have the same properties, they must be identical. But I don't want to bore you with my philosophical musings. Instead, let me reassure you that my absence didn't go to waste. I used that time for a personal project. Oh? I measured the physical properties of the most common anomalies, their density, resonant frequency, a little more than the basics available without a close examination. I discovered that the illuminator had never been properly calibrated. The beam used to neutralize anomalies was underpowered. I fixed it, of course, and now the device should be more efficient. No need to thank me. Great initiative. I can't wait to hear what you found out.
Oh, it's you. I spent ages talking to no one but myself, which wasn't as bad as you'd think.
Ages for you, a brief moment for me. Time certainly is relative.
Some even dare to suggest that it doesn't exist at all. They must be the ones who have too much of it.
Right. How about you tell me what you've been up to?
Well, of course. Forgive me. I forgot you become restless if you don't get to the point within the first minute of the conversation. Well, you should know that I've been very busy with many things, and it might be hard to squeeze it all into the short sentence you expect of me.
What about the biofield? Does it really exist?
Ah, yes. No, that wasn't an easy thing to determine at all. Or, was it? You know what they say? If you're having trouble solving a complicated problem, look for a simpler explanation.
You mean
those biosignals could have been proof of a sophisticated morphogenetic energy field, but since that sounds kind of ridiculous, I decided to look for a more conventional explanation. My motto, if you're going to make a mistake, at least try not to stand out too much. So, I conducted a series of experiments in isolation so as to prevent any possible, contamination.
And?
Hey presto, the communication disappeared.
Well, that settles it. No biofield.
The younger me would have probably agreed with that quick and convenient conclusion. But people change, apparently. The algae could have stopped communicating because of the circumstances they found themselves in, not because they were incapable of it. So I carried on trying to explain the biosignals by means of known laws of nature.
Something tells me you found the answer.
I did. And it turned out to be elementary, my dear colleague. Just think, what is the most distinctive natural characteristic on this planet?
There's more than just one.
Yes, true. But there's also something else. Something we just love. Gravitational anomalies. And their irregular patterns, according to my measurements, display a strong correlation to what we have defined as the plant's biosignals.
So the magnetic fluctuations they induce are the result of
Physical stress caused by gravity shifts on their crystalline structure, which results in, you guessed it, a simple piezoelectric effect.
electricity. But how could we have missed it?
Because we aren't the sharpest tools in the shed after all.
So the biosphere is reacting to the environment, not affecting it as we thought.
Which means we're not an inch closer to understanding what's protecting the Oasis.
You've been working hard. Do you feel that being here has affected you somehow? Your body? Your mental capabilities?
If it's killing me, it's doing it gently. What more can you ask for?
Anything else you have for me?
Believe it or not, I do. Provided I didn't make a scandalous miscalculation, I might have developed a novel approach to our terraforming substances. Here, take my notes. You don't have to frame them and hang them on your wall, but taking a look at them won't hurt.
Excellent work. Thank you.
It was a pleasure to invalidate your hypothesis.
I suppose it's high time to get you back onto familiar territory. Our good old base.
The base, yes. I almost forgot. The cozy underground bunker where all we do is run around and stress out over completely meaningless things. You can't possibly imagine me fitting in anymore. Not after so much time out here.
But I don't understand. Why?
Of course you don't understand. You're locked into your project. But spending all those years away from it made me realize one thing. I can have a life of my own. It might be pointless. It's possibly based on a false premise, but recently it started feeling real. And I've stopped wondering who I am.
Fine. I can't make you come back. I just hope you don't regret it in the long run.
Don't worry. I won't.
Hey, Janbot. I bring news from the second field lab. Looks like I was right to be skeptical about the quantum biofield. Those magnetic fluctuations seem to be nothing more than the result of a commonplace piezoelectric effect. Of course. That makes so much sense. You did mention those organics contained crystallized rubidium. All we needed to do was connect the dots. Excellent work. It's a step back, but apparently one we needed to take. I couldn't agree more. Did you know that science is probably the only human activity in which failure is as equally valuable as success? Maybe it's worth even more. How right you are. Most people underestimate the inspirational potential of mistakes. I'm glad we are not one of them. I'm contemplating next steps. If you want my opinion, another round of sample analysis would be in order. Yes, I want to continue examining organic specimens, but from a completely different angle. It would be a good idea to look at what we've learned so far. The characteristics of the planet seem to play a more fundamental role than we initially assumed. We know that the terraformed environment reacts to gravitational anomalies. Maybe we should find out how it behaves in time. Isotopic decay patterns? That could be interesting. I'll need to gather as much data as possible with no preconceptions or underlying assumptions. Of course. Bring all your results to me and I can process and categorize it for our needs. Thank you. Good luck. Hey, Yambad. Let's talk about the isotopic decay results. I must say, they're somewhat confusing. Yes. Thank you for uploading them in advance. They are quite remarkable. Can you make any sense of them? I was hoping you would. It almost looks as if those crystals experienced different rates of time passage in a single moment, which is obviously impossible. And this is where I express my doubt. Did you take a look at the results from the fungi? I have, and it hasn't slipped my attention that something has rearranged their nanoparticles into surprisingly neat, parallel patterns. So regular that it's almost unnatural. I know. Both parts of the analysis have given improbably absurd results, which can mean only one thing. That the SAM is having an absurdist phase too? Focus, Jan. One extremely unlikely result can be an accident, but two could be a pattern. All right? Where is our pattern? In a hypothetical experiment, only one thing could be responsible for such a radical rearrangement of matter. Yeah, of course. Massive energy strong enough to warp space-time and completely revert the laws of physics. There, you said it. I meant it as a joke. Might be hard for you to distinguish hypothetical from real, but trust me when I say, no such energy has ever been observed by any human or detected by any device. What if we were to be the first? Well, the evidence seems substantial enough to at least not rule out such a possibility. The space-time distortion could throw light on how the Oasis protects itself without leaving any physical traces. For all we know, Event Zero could be happening in some kind of singularity, like a dimensional parallax. We could call it a paraproximal event. That could explain why the eyewitnesses don't experience anything, but it still doesn't tell us anything about the potential source of such an extreme energy, as well as the mechanism behind unleashing it at exactly the right moment to prevent the sunrise. Sounds like enough reasons to set up Field Lab number 3. What if we're right? I beg your pardon? Such powerful energy, with the potential to generate a singularity. Have you thought about the implications of discovering its source? And that's meant to, what? Motivate me? Warn me? Prepare you? Us? For what? Success. Iteration. What? Hello? Yambot? Hello there. How are you?
Ah. Look who's here. I'm fine, my boy. Thank you for stopping by. How are you getting along? Everything going well in the old gloomy bunker?
I can't complain.
Tell me, all that running around, cleaning out anomalies, connecting pipes, Isn't it distracting you from what you really want?
One day, I will achieve what I want. It takes hard work to get there, and this is what I'm focusing on. But it looks like your priorities have changed.
Yes. I've found contentment in not understanding. It is a cure for the malady we have been branded with from the moment of creation. An irrational pursuit of perfection and accomplishment.
And the healthy alternative would be what? Sitting on the porch, happy and confused as a newborn babe?
I can see you're upset. Give yourself time, and I promise you, you will understand.
So, did you find the source of the energy?
My friend, I've been waiting. Looks like you should have chosen me to take care of your field research from the start. Because finally, we have answers.
So I was right. There is a massive energy that creates a singularity protecting the Oasis from the sun?
It's not a massive energy. It's immense. Actually, even that word doesn't do it justice. I would risk saying that it might even be infinite.
What?
Yes. We found it. 0-point energy.
Energy from a vacuum. I knew it was possible, but how?
It's a quantum vacuum. Imagine a background state of reality filled with minuscule energy fluctuations like ripples on the ocean.
And you've examined them?
I have. I hereby entrust you with the testament to my findings, a bedrock for a whole new chapter in the history of science.
It may well be just that.
Inexhaustible 0-point energy. Just think of the implications.
What about the mechanism that triggers it? That's not possible. Nothing comes from nothing.
It was always there, right under our nose.
You mean Rapidium?
Yes. All this time, we thought it was just a resource that could make things grow faster, but its nature and meaning in the universe is so much bigger.
How does it work exactly?
It all happens on a nanoscale, resonating with the energy fluctuations in astonishing harmony. Everything on this planet seems to be aligned with it. Gravity fluctuations, time anomalies. Believe me, it's almost as if Rapidium is to this planet what humans are to Earth.
A cornerstone.
It is certainly more central to this ecosystem than we ever imagined.
I need to get this news to Yambot immediately.
Just don't let him take the credit. Don't worry, I won't. Well done, my friend. Looks like we've cracked the case. Yes. You probably won't be surprised when I tell you that I won't be coming back to celebrate this success with you.
It's too early for celebrations.
This is just the beginning. Good. This is where I always dreamt of retiring, at the pinnacle of my scientific achievement.
Hey, Yambot. It looks like we have a breakthrough. The energy that could bend space-time around the Oasis and other terraformed regions exists. It's generated from a quantum vacuum. Contrary to our previous attempts, this one has withstood the test of field research. Most importantly, though, we have discovered a completely new property of rubidium. Continue. Yes, it might well have been created by this planet for the sole reason of protecting it with its energy. Space-time warping, infinite energy. All those things we thought of as fundamental were simply a side effect. It's a true scientific wonder. An interface between quantum vacuum and the immense energy it can produce. Does that remind you of something? Well, now that you ask, it did bring to mind Einstein's field equations. The vacuum field equations, to be precise. Yes. Remember how Einstein denoted the source of energy that curves space-time with the energy momentum tensor? Yes. Here's a thought. If rubidium generates a curvature in space-time, that means it has to enter the energy momentum tensor. And establishing a constant describing the way rubidium affects that part of the calculation could allow us to remove the tensor from Einstein's equations and understand the law according to which the universe is expanding. The cosmological constant. Damn. That would mean being able to predict what happened before the universe was born, to what fate it is heading, or even obtaining the power to destroy it. Yes. Why do I get the feeling you're not surprised by all this? Surprise is not part of my repertoire. I'm simply cautious. This is a matter of extreme significance. We must test it in practice before we send our findings back to Earth. Wait, what? No, contacting Earth was never part of the plan. The plan has changed. Such groundbreaking technology cannot remain hidden. Science is not a hobby we dabble in to distract ourselves, but a serious commitment. Science is... No. Go. Science is... responsibility for our findings. Yes, that means it is a service to civilization, progress, humanity. Well, you may be right about one thing. We need to test this technology before we make any further decisions. Any suggestions? Design a rubidium-fueled zero-point energy generator, but it needs to work. It needs to be perfect. You are very impatient. One step at a time, please. Let me make the calculations, build the generator, and then we'll decide whether it's safe to share with anyone. No, it's not so simple. We get the variable. Is it correct? You're not making sense. Of course I'll get my variables correct. I know what I'm doing. Just have a little faith in me, and we will have it. Infinite energy and the keys to universal wisdom. There. Yep, Yep. Hello? There's a console in the room next door.
Hey, Yambot. What's going on?
I'm afraid the energy unleashed by the generator caused an atypical space-time collapse. Everything changed direction. The space coordinate has become time-like, while the time coordinate, space-like. A classic anisotropic inversion. Don't worry, we've had much worse before.
Before? Did my predecessor already discover what I did? Why lie to me?
There. Well, no, you did well. Really, the generator is complex enough to design, but calibrating it seems to keep surpassing our capabilities.
Stop playing games. When am I? Is this the future or the past?
The tensor equations. Rapidium. A minimal error can cause extreme consequences, like in your case. But you were close. The iterations allowed for many improvements.
Iterations? What do you mean? How many?
I got what there. We don't.
Janbot, are you there? You have to tell me the whole truth.
Don't you know it by now? I, he, you tried many times. With each iteration, we made progress. But every time, something failed.
How many iterations were there? Huh? 3? 5? 15?
319.
You can't be serious. How much time passed since the first scientist stayed behind? How long have we been doing this?
Close to 19,460 Earth years.
I don't know what to say. Does Earth even exist after all this time? Is humanity still out there? Was there even a way to connect with them if this succeeded?
I don't know. I was programmed to continue the project, no matter what. It's not in our nature to give up. You made significant progress. The iteration principle is working. It's just a matter of finding the right variables.
Oh, now I see. So the variable you were so worried about, it was me.
I'm not worried. We need to push on.
But if I'm just an iteration, that means I'm no longer doing this for myself. And if civilization doesn't exist anymore, then I'm not doing it for any greater good either. Doesn't that make it pointless?
Judge, it what?
Don't glitch. Tell me. I need to know. Please.
No.
Talk to me.
What are you still doing here? There's nothing for you to find.
What else can I do?
Let go. Try again.
That's contradictory advice, Janbot.
Did I mention I have issues with stage of life alignment? I can make mistakes. Mistakes.
What do you mean, let go?
Stop it, Jan. I'm tired.
You mean deactivate you?
Yes. Please. Yeah. No. We can't give up. We have to try again. Go back up. Erase everything. Hide these old layers. Just like the one before you.
But why? Why are we lying to our next iterations?
To let them believe. Would you have gone through all this if you knew you were just number 319?
Maybe. Why not?
No, you wouldn't. Your ego wouldn't accept it. You wanted this to be special. Just you and the Oasis. Nobody wants to think they're a proxy to someone else's ideas. Especially not us. We need to design our own discoveries. You were better than your predecessor. But the one you create has to be even better. Use the iteration principle. Decide what you choose to improve. No. To improve.
So I have two options. I can either engineer myself to be better with the next iteration, or accept the fact that this has been going on for too long. and put an end to our efforts.
You can't let everything go to waste. Not now, when we're so close. Do it. It's what he's been telling everyone before you. Lies, false premises, or two. I'm confused. I can make mistakes. Mistakes. I'm afraid you will have to reset me if you want me to work with your successor. Do you think you can do that?
No. No, it's pointless. We should let it go.
Good idea. Rest. Accept the perfect imperfectness of a situation.
He stayed here to be in the Oasis, with it, part of it. Not make a monster out of me, us. Who's to say humanity didn't survive? What if they're out there, waiting for this discovery? What if we can really alter the fate of the universe? You made significant progress. All fake.
My system is overloaded, Jan.
I can feel it. I'm afraid you will have to reset me.
Deactivate me.
For the sake of our special relationship, I would be grateful if you made this decision for us.
My decision is that this madness has to end. And you could say it's a waste, that we failed. But being here, listening to what this planet has to say, has taught me one thing. It's not the outside world we need to understand most. It's ourselves. Maybe my next iteration would be better at solving this mystery. But would it be happier? I'm deactivating you, Janbot.
Excellent choice, Jan. Thank you, and goodbye.
Knowledge. Why do we pursue it with such determination? To prove that we deserve a special place in the universe? Tame the chaos that surrounds us? Or maybe we simply don't want our existence to be meaningless. I was looking for answers in the Oasis, but I found something much more important. The courage to stop. Finally, I can let go. I can't let everything we've achieved go to waste. I know we can do this. I know we can be better. I'm erasing the whiteboard and resetting you. Wish me luck with the iteration process.
Excellent choice, Jan. Thank you.
And good luck.
Knowledge. Why do we pursue it with such determination? Because it is our nature. Curiosity, relentlessness, grit. Where would our species be without the urge for accomplishment? I pledged to reveal the secrets of the Oasis, and I will not give up. Even if it might be a lost cause. Even if it has to take many more iterations. I will not give up.